Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Council of Future Conflicts episode. I don't know. You took the thing down, so I don't know what episode we're on. Let me look. 538. We're doing a CFC Fireside chat today. We talked a little. I think was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. But we talked about the idea of just kind of doing a show where we just talked about stuff without any of the structure. Because like, let's be honest, guys, there's a lot of stuff that we're interested in that we just don't get to because we end up talking about like the set kind of thing. And I think the show is good because we get to topics that maybe we individually maybe not focus on, but Joe, I know it's not super interesting sometimes to talk about Sahel, where the Sahel is that place even at. But understanding, those kind of nascent conflicts that are happening out in the world, you never know when it might splash over into an area that actually is important. So I think it's important to be able to see the fires from beyond the horizon. But today, we're gonna just talk about other just stuff, and we'll see where we go with this, and we'll see how it works out. Joe, how you doing this morning?
I pass. It's
He
it's
is doing well and good, ladies and gentlemen.
no, he's not. But I'm not going to lie to anybody. But anyway, we're getting ready for a big fundraiser event this weekend. The Elvis concert, that should be good.
Oh yeah,
But I want to give props where props are due. And Boilerman09 from our chat is bouncing around in here somewhere. He's actually headed over to make breakfast right now for everyone. But he showed up last night. He knows how to arrive. Pendleton Military Edition. Got your 6 bottle. So good stuff. We'll take it. We accept. The Dutchy immigration authorities do accept bribes. If
there you go. So. Very good. No, that is a he has paid his admission. Watcher, how you doing today?
Good. We for those of you who are eagerly awaiting chicken updates, we just sold our first eggs. We the little farm stand down the road's having some kind of activity today where the news is coming over and they're doing a ribbon cutting ceremony on their new building and all this kind of stuff, and so they wanted maximum product, so we harvested a cherry tree for them and then did all that into pints and then sold a bunch of quail eggs and chicken eggs. So good stuff.
Very good. Very good. Very good. The whole chicken revolution. You see, like you doing it out in the middle of nowhere makes sense. I could see, Joe, you guys having a chicken coop there at the at the ranch. I could see that. But the thing that I don't understand are these yahoos in suburbia that want to fight their, I mean, I guess I understand the impulse. But
until I had a chicken, I did not understand that they actually do make excellent pets. Like that's not even just somebody like reaching. They're lovely animals and they're very personable.
I think any animal can make a decent pet, a decent
right,
enough
but not every animal gives you breakfast.
Yeah, Joe, have you ever raised animals like at all? Because I have zero experience raising animals, so I
ever raised animals. I have like 347 dogs. So
does that count?
Yeah. Does that count?
Does that count? Not quite livestock, but. I was wondering maybe you would want to show off some of those pictures that you were showing us before the show started.
Let me pull that up. You guys keep chatting. I'll find that picture again.
All right.
Although I will say that after having had both of them, what I don't understand is why these people who are already fighting their rural places and want to have an animal in their yard they can raise that's going to be quiet enough that their HOA is not going to know about it and take up a very, very small square footage. I don't understand why they don't get quail. I assume it's because they don't know about them, but like a very, very small quail hutch can raise a very large number of quail. They lay 1 egg a day every day. They have more protein than a chicken egg, and the roosters do make a sound, but it's very low, and it would be confused with like neighborhood regular bird sounds.
I just assume maybe, Watcher, this is something that you probably. Let me go. Here we go.
I'll just keep going back.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Plague Doctor. Got skunked, eh? Oh, remove, add.
There.
There you go.
What's your superpower?
Yeah.
That came directly from our fan chat. So
Heck yeah, man. Chickens are the best, man.
Here it is. I found that picture again. Sometimes when you like find something even on your own computer, it completely vanishes.
I know, right?
This is a great photo of Thor on the day that we brought him home from the rescue. He was told to stay in the back seat. It lasted about 4.5 seconds, and he has been my co-pilot and ride or die ever since. Last night when Jason got here, he saw him and he was like, "Hey, that's my friend," and ran right over. And when a 6'3" dog decides he wants to give you a hug, you're getting a hug whether you want one or not. And he's just a great boy. He loves all the people coming and staying here to visit and come to class. And he's very social. Good dog.
Yeah, he seems like a very charismatic dog.
He is, and he was entertaining the people of Kalispell last week when I was driving around with the sunroof open, and he was standing up in the sunroof because he can reach. He was like, "Hey, this is way cooler than the window, Dad. Leave this open all the
time." Before we go any further, I want to make sure I get this. Lance Corporal Veteran for $10 before the show even started, just right off the rip. How's the war going so far? For me, on the front lines is a bit chaotic, like the moments before the storm is about to hit you. See and feel, hear it, stuff flying, but it hasn't hit hard yet. Yeah, I know the feeling there. It's kind of like, there's no other feeling like being outside, like right before the thunderstorm or, the tornado or whatever the weather just comes in, And we all know what, that can be metaphorical too, as far as the storm is coming. We got a lot of stuff going on out there in the world.
We sure as heck do. As some may say, wars and rumors of wars. Good to see you there, Ranch Turner.
I want to also say thanks to Low-Key LARP, gifted 5 subs over in the Rumble chat. So thank you. He's absolutely going hog wild on the people with white chat. So he wants to make sure all the chat is the same color. And then Kaiser John also gifted 5 subs. So pretty much anybody without a sub, you will get a gifted sub probably today. If
I think you mentioned Lance Corporal Veterans $10 before the show.
Yeah, I just read that one. Yeah.
I was busy looking for a photo.
Yeah. All right. So I tell you what. I think the form of this show will be something along the lines of just kind of like odds and ends for the whole show, right? Not getting too deep into any one topic. We'll talk about a lot of the different things, and we may just talk about like bullshit. We literally just may talk about things that are only important to us. And if you guys like that content, great. If you don't, then hey, maybe this is not the episode for you. We'll see how it goes, and if it goes well, we may do it again. If not, we've got our format that's been working for years, so it's not like we're going to leave it behind.
I hope everyone enjoyed the Tommy's podcast episode yesterday with me and Mike Shelby talking about the ICE attacks.
Yeah, how did that go?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. We analyzed everything that happened, what it means, and what the potential is for violence going forward.
Anybody who didn't see it, the link is in the chat.
Small-scale shootings back and forth are probably highly likely.
Yeah, I one of the things I think that you may have in the short term, the lack of success for that attack causing maybe other people to not, take part in that kind of attack. But ultimately, I think there are individuals who want to go that route are always going to go that route. And so you may see some one-off shooters. And then I think you will, after maybe a depression or a leveling off, you'll start to see these types of attacks increase. And that's just my opinion. I mean, what the hell do I know? These attacks are, Joe, one of the things that I'm really surprised by is that we haven't had more complex ambush type attacks, because when it comes to the type of attack that can really cause a lot of chaos, small arms, direct fire is really hard to beat, especially if you have any training at all.
Well, I think the biggest thing that we've both pointed out is that there were a total of 5 rifles and several more handguns found and lots of body armor. If these people hadn't chickened out, which it appears they did, it appears those several shooters decided not to pull the trigger. If they hadn't chickened out, and if they hadn't had a gun jam, because one of the weapons was double jam, was jammed, like it had double feed. This could have been way worse if they had actually followed through with a legitimate ambush and then broke contact. But it looks like they actually got out there. And as I pointed out, life is pretty simple online. I could be a tough guy online all day. It's another thing when you're looking through the optic and there's a living, breathing human being at the other end, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that mindset, you can't really handle that. So I think what happened is these guys thought they were going to get out there and fight the fash or whatever, and then realized, hey, man, this is a big step I don't really want to take. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
You know what? Let's talk about that 3D printed lower receiver there, Joe.
That's something, man.
Oh, hold on, because I'm trying to find the one that's got all of the pictures, because there's some specialness in that thread. Come on, because the sights are 3D printed too. Like the whole, it's bad. All it's missing is the dong front grip. Well, I mean, they got pretty close.
That thing, it looks like they wanted it to look like a Tommy gun, but decided instead to make it look like a retarded gun. How do you hold
what?
that?
Yeah, I don't.
I was just to say, I'm getting carpal tunnel looking at it.
Of all the compromises to make,
it's
why
California compliant? Oh no!
So this is also why we take people's rifles out in the woods and hide them on the first day of the scout class, because that rifle is going to be pretty easy to find and pretty easy to see, thereby making you pretty easy to find and pretty easy to see. Wowzers.
California compliant.
Oh, way to go, you Arctic boy. It's a sub-Canadian gun. Very, very nice.
The rifle is neurodivergent. Oh, boy. Well, I mean, he wanted to go with the Antifa color scheme. I get it. I mean, it's...
A rifle,
you know what? Hey,
a rifle
actually,
that also identifies as a walking stick.
There's actually another clue here that Chad is 100% correct. That's a 5-round magazine.
Yeah.
That's a 5-round magazine.
I guarantee you this thing is for someone who's in California.
Yep. Ooh. Feels bad, man.
Suran, however you say it, we were talking about the ambush at the ICE facility in Texas by 12 or 11 Antifa militants plus their one co-conspirator.
Yeah, and I've got I believe this is him. Been identified by the FBI as well as Andy No. And here's a little training video he did.
This is absolute hot garbage. But yeah,
yes. What?
Today we're going to cover a lot of things, but the first thing we're going to cover is moving with other people around, right? So the first two concepts are going to be fire before flesh and getting online, okay? So if we both need to shoot at something or in a direction, we want to make sure we do it safely, right? We don't want to be shooting behind each other and accidentally shoot each other. It's way easier to do friendly fire because this is such a big space, right? Whatever you're aiming at is way down there. It's a much smaller area. There's way fewer angles to it. There's a ton of angles to your buddy here, right? So there's two main ways to avoid that, which are both basically don't shoot from behind each other, okay? So
real quick, Jeds. Let's comment and also test if it still echoes. Anybody be brave?
No. Okay, go for it.
Oh, apparently it doesn't. Good deal.
Yeah, it seems good.
They finally fixed it. Thank you, StreamYards.
You know, Joe. The irony is like this is what happens when that private realizes he's the only guy here that knows how to shoot, and he tries to sound authoritative, but ultimately he doesn't have the years of experience that his instructors and his DIs had, who actually drilled all this information into him.
What's worse is that like he teaches you to get online, which is great. Then he teaches them all to slam themselves together, elbow to elbow.
Yep.
Which is great because then I don't have to traverse as much. It really doesn't.
Also, if you weren't coordinated beforehand and somebody's slamming into your other side there, good stuff. The best. Also, hot brass, anyone?
The point of getting online is to own some real estate, right? And give yourself a wide front to fight from. He negates that after having them get online and then suck right into each other. And I suppose I get it from an urban complex and hallway fighting standpoint, but it's still silly. I still want to own the whole hallway, not one small corner of it.
Yeah.
So see there, he gets him online, and then watch what he does next. He gets online, and he's going to suck right into him. So,
also, I love his stance. It's
then they Wonder Twin powers activate.
So I mean, if he's training you for like firing in a hallway, maybe, but even then it's different. It's more stacked. It's more of a stack than it is like a side to side type of deal.
Well, a strong wall, right? Yeah, it's wild. This guy's.
Let me talk about
not know what he's talking about
from just a practicality standpoint, right? So, as an instructor, one of the most dangerous things that we had to deal with were live fire drills, and specifically a specific thing that happens in just about every live fire drill, where somebody gets a hot piece of brass down their shirt collar, and then
he says in here, this is the one time it's okay to chicken wing because you're putting your elbow on your buddy's chest so you know he's there. That's like absolutely nonsense, right? You're also in my way as I'm attempting to manipulate my weapon system. Keep your elbows in. And I also want to point out that we in the United States Marine Corps don't claim him, because what Marine fired 20 shots and scored one hit? No, bro.
Yeah.
Tell me you were unqualled without telling me you were unqualled.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why he got out and became Antifa.
I can see the pizza box from here.
I'll point out he has an other than honorable conditions discharge. So.
Oh. Yeah, you got to work for that one.
You do. You do. He did a good job there with going to high port, but but his videos are silly. So
Yeah, it's really silly because it's, I mean, the most silly part is it's not real, right? It's just an idea. How can an idea have a training class?
That's a good point.
Well, he's a member of the Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club, and the most significant thing about this is he was arrested a couple years ago for a violent incident and almost immediately released. And here he is. Yeah, Yorick, you're right. He went to MCT, not SOI. Absolutely, 100%. So
what
MCT
neither of those mean anything to me.
Marine
MCT
Corps
is
combat training is,
which is a 4-week warrior school. SOI is the full School of Infantry. So warrior or MCT is for like the admin clerks and the cooks and everybody else to learn how to fight.
Literally anybody but 03s.
Yeah.
And then 03s go to a big boy. Well, I guess it depends on.
Now, when you say 03, you mean infantrymen, right?
Yes, 03 is all of our
because most people don't know what an 03 is.
But you'd be surprised how many things are covered under that, it turns out. And then I think, don't the radio men join SOI as well for a good period there?
I'm sorry?
Don't the radio men also end up joining up there? Or
it depends on what unit they're going to be at. So,
but yeah,
what kind of radio. So,
but yeah, it's a big boy, 3 to 4 month school, depending on what your MOS is.
Yeah, what your MOS is, and I would challenge that a reserve CB could probably slot this guy. So,
okay, so I got to cover this because chat has given me what I was looking for, and it's here was the full post on that. Featuring some of the top Reddit comments. Here's the sites.
Point at fascist.
Oh boy, nice.
We're not even hating on the fact that it's a 3D printed thing. It's all like it's like if you're gonna make a gun 3D printed with no serial number and all that kind of stuff on it, in order to be able to then like do some sort of crime, you might as well just go ahead and make it a 3-pin gun with a real pistol grip on it, and why the half measures, bro?
Yeah.
Or is this somebody who doesn't know anything about guns and thinks it looks cool?
No, this was done for California compliance for sure. The question of why 3D printed, which I'm almost positive has to be illegal in California, or at least they're on a state level. There's no way they're not trying to make it illegal, right?
But if I'm 3D printing my own gun, why am I making it anything compliant? The entire
That's what I'm saying.
3D printing guns is
compliant. It's to be non-compliant, right? You're 100%, Joe. That's
well, okay. So if you read it in this case, it's because they're broke as a joke. But yeah, they say all the red parts are 3D printed. I just have them until I can afford real to replace them with real parts.
Let me catch up here. Lance Corporal Veteran for $2 says, I am in California. I can confirm this is a compliant AR-15. And then he comes back again for $5 and says, I have lots of real experience doing hallways with guns. I never allowed somebody alongside each other. I'm trying to remember, there was like one formation where you basically had a person, like you had two, like abreast, and I can't remember what that was called. There were several different configurations, but I never practiced that with any of my guys. So All right. Hey,
But yeah, the funny thing is that we may laugh at them, but the point of a lot of these are just to, even if they're shitty weapons, they do put weapons in the hands of people who want to kill you.
well, the irony is that in these guns, no matter how dumb they look or how idiotic their training may be, these guns can kill you just as dead as any other gun.
Yeah. Well, and a statistic I like to bring up over and over again. What caliber is consistently the most deadly year after year by statistics of how many people are killed by it?
Oh yeah, it's the 22 long rifle.
22.
No, random PNW guy. That's not how you do a rolling T. Rolling T is 3 abreast, not 3 tucked in. When we say abreast, we don't mean literally abreast, like your breasts touching. Spread out.
I knew that was coming. Speaking of this, though, it doesn't look like it's stopping. So I guess we should show the big video from the last couple days, eh?
Well, yeah. So this is the raid on the in the farmland, and was Ventura County. So it's not like a way out there, but still, this is migrant labor, and one of these guys decided to shoot back. And now I don't know if he's a protester. I think they are protesters that showed up. What I like is that he's basically shooting at that guy that was right in.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's got any kind of clear line of sight.
Well, he's probably just popping off,
endangering all of his own people.
Well, he clearly doesn't care about that.
It's okay. I looped him over the top. I looped him.
Didn't you see Wanted?
So essentially, this is what a marijuana field that had a bunch of illegals, and to include children working at it, raided by ICE, and there was a guy. I guess there was a pro ICE supporter there, and he got assaulted pretty badly. So it was pretty chaotic. I feel like ICE did what they meant to do, though.
Hunter's got a point there. By definition, by shooting, he has become a combatant.
In any other, if this was occurring in any other nation, we would call it an insurgency.
Ron, if these guys were gangbangers, I would be disappointed. The problem is these aren't gangbangers; these are wannabe terrorists.
Yeah.
And they just, gangbangers have been carrying guns for years, and
this is actually an advanced technique. If you watch, he's trying to clear his buddies by hopping in the air as he fires.
That's an advanced technique. That's correct.
All the schools. Firing after leaving the ground is always a solid way to score hits.
Yeah.
And I love the one arm tucked up. That's gangsta modified.
Yeah. Remember, sight alignment, sight picture is for pussies.
Yeah, just spray and pray.
That's almost as good as the Afghani squat. Oh, yes, raging psychosis. It does work at basketball. It does.
So if anybody has info on that guy, by the way, there's a reward out for him. I believe it's up to $50,000.
More limp wristing, stovepipes and limp wrists. Let's see. So just a little information about this. So I guess there was so ICE, I guess, had National Guard backup. Conducted a large-scale immigration raid at 2 Glass House Farm cannabis facilities in Ventura County and Santa Barbara County in California. These raids targeted undocumented workers at the state-licensed cannabis farms, leading to significant protests and clashes with the authorities. Let's see. ICE agents accompanied by military-style vehicles. Heaven forbid they have military-style vehicles, because people shooting at them evidently is okay.
The Dodge Ram pickup truck is a military style vehicle.
Right, exactly right. It's a former Cut-V, Joe. You know what do you?
Yeah.
The Department of Homeland Security confirmed the operation was led by DHS, not the DEA, despite the cannabis context. Let's see. There was tensions escalated when federal agents deployed tear gas, rubber bullets, and less than lethal rounds to disperse the crowds, blocking the roads. Protesters reportedly threw rocks. One individual allegedly fired a handgun at agents. No, allegedly. He did. And his own people, by the way, prompting an FBI reward of $50,000 for information leading to the conviction.
The commie media has been outdoing themselves on this. It's been unreal watching some sort of weapon.
Yeah, no, it's a pistol.
I have to say I can't let this pass. Schley says, I saw someone get picked up at a doctor's appointment. So I thought to myself for a minute, wait a minute, doctor's appointments aren't like reported to any kind of central repository for us to pick through. And then I realized, oh, wait, isn't there a reward out for people who are illegal? And if I worked at a doctor's office and had access to people's medical records and all of their information and happened to be a low-paid clerk who worked in the front office, I might make a little cash on the side.
So the point that a lot of the media glossed over yesterday is that, oh my God, children are running from this raid. If you're having a raid on a workplace and children are running from it, there is already a problem.
Yeah. Well, it says here DHS reported finding 10 juveniles, including 8 unaccompanied minors at the facility, raising concerns about potential child labor violations. You think that drug dealers who will hire illegals might also hire children? Shocking.
Does anyone know who the largest owner of these marijuana grows is?
The Chinese.
The Chinese. So this is an interesting thing. Chinese marijuana grow farms are a big thing in America.
Yes.
If you recall, like 2, maybe 3 years ago, the Chinese MSS guy went around and killed 5 people at one in Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he got picked up in Florida trying to get on a plane, he said, hey, look, okay, you got me, but don't send me back because they'll kill me for failing. And so we held on to him. But they are big into the marijuana business here in America. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of hate for saying this, but there's a reason for that. They want you all on weed. I mean, it's just
there's that as well, but also, I mean, I've seen multiple of these come out where, like, they're given briefings before they come over. And one of the things that they were told during a specific period was, you need to establish pot farms because it's a high income stream. It gives you the opportunity to set up a secure facility without anybody batting an eye about it, because you're required by law to make these places secure in most states. Like, you have to have fencing around the whole thing, that, like, not just like chain link. You have to have fencing people cannot see through around the entire facility. You can keep guard dogs. You can have people come day and night without anybody questioning you. You can have people live on the property without people questioning you, which means you can house other illegals. You can pay them for the work that they're doing without paying taxes on it. Like, they have all kinds of reasons why pop farms are perfect to have some of their guys that are decently placed to run, so that they can then have other places for networks of people that are coming through to stay, collect resources, and then potentially use as a base of operations for other things.
Mm-hmm. All right, gents. What should we talk about next? Oh, you know what? Let's do the drone topic.
No, I've got a better one because it ties to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Illegals. President Trump has considered sending them to a lot of different places around the world. My favorite one so far is, and I'm about to share it, is he had some of them kept at a certain place while trying to find a home for them. I'm sharing it now. He had them detained in Djibouti while trying to find a more permanent place for them. He went, oops, I'm sorry, I got that pop up in the way. Before sending them on to South Sudan. So I'm just gonna put it in Djibouti for a minute, and then I'll put it where it's gonna go.
While you're getting rid of that ad, I just have to say that I love that we've become the Djibouti show.
Yeah, the Djibouti show.
Unbelievable.
I love it.
I thought the Djibouti show was on OnlyFans. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, well, it probably is, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn Djibouti into an emoji. I think that actually, like, that one is one that gets used enough. It's useful for an emoji. Ice and Djibouti kinky.
Absolutely horrible, Joshua Clark, and I love it. Doc, can you see what your son is doing over here, Doc? I'm sorry. Anyway. I think that's enough Djibouti for the day.
Well, you know, before we get into a serious topic, can I bring up something that's a little less serious, but it's serious to me, but it's
is it more or less serious than the last story about Djibouti?
Well, at least that was a real story. This is just,
I think I know what it's going to be, and I'm
no,
I'm hesitant. Oh, I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't.
So, if you are a backer of Doorkickers, last night you got a email update, and the email update is the books. We've got the books back from the printers, so all the books are printed. We have a couple ancillary items that we need to print. I think the trading cards are the big one, but there may be one or two other things. Doorkickers is on the way, and as soon as Doorkickers is fulfilled, then right behind it will be Land and Sea. We're just tightening the shot group on the print file for Land and Sea, but ultimately that one's kind of on short final. So this is a post by Ethan Van Sciver. He clearly opened his email this morning, saw the thing, and said, "Comicsgate fulfills another late campaign." Yes, it is late. It's 2 years late. Doorkickers Bad Medicine is finally about to ship. And it's very cool to see somebody of his stature just kind of recognize the fact that we're still plucking away. You guys interact with me in the chat on a daily basis. And so you know that I'm not a flake. I've just had a very kind of tough 3 years, Turkey. And then the last 2 years, I don't know. At some point in the future, I'll spin the yarn of what's been going on for the last 2 years, but it's been a rough one. So anyway, the point is that Doorkickers is out the door. Land and Sea will technically be on time. I thought it was going to come out a lot earlier than it is, but ultimately it's going to be a good project. And I think ultimately, we've got nothing but clear skies ahead. We'll have enough money in the bank to start the next book, which is another Land and Sea books.
I recognize those blue fingers.
You think? Watcher, you might know. So if you didn't know, Watcher and I have teamed up, and Watcher will be doing fulfillment for me from his location. So really thankful for all the help Watcher's given me on this. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for Watcher and his backup on this, I don't know that I would have been able to get it out. I want
to issue a public apology on, as long as we're on camera, and say some of this has just been me and my unbelievably untreated attention deficit disorder. Because even though he's been struggling, I could have picked up the ball on some of that. But a lot of times I just get sucked into what I'm doing and completely forget that I'm involved in this.
Yeah. And I just want to, I've got one of the things I want to recognize is the cover to the far left is the last big cover project that Xevious did for me. He has since passed away.
Yeah.
So RIP to Christopher Robert.
Who was fantastic. Like if you guys ever had the opportunity to go back and look at some of our shows with him, he was a truly amazing individual. And
he was doing. We did some shows when I was in Turkey with him. It's really frustrating to see it. Mexican Iron Man's like, Scott, stop beating yourself up. Just send me my book so I can have something to read in the bunker when the aliens, zombies, and Democrats attack. Don't worry, the Democrats won't attack, but the commies will. By the way, I just wanted, I think I missed this. Mexican Iron Man, member for 29 months, need to eject all those illegal third world migrant invaders and traitor U.S. citizens that aid and abet this lawlessness. No tacos for them, only gators. Oh, snap. The amount of people who are spurging over alligator Alcatraz is really funny. Yeah, Tank Ferret, absolutely. RIP, yep. So anyway, we're getting this out the gate. We've got the books. Like I said, I think we have a couple ancillary items that we need. I think Watcher has by the way, Watcher, I don't know if you saw, but I resent the email with
the cards. I did see
the card information.
Yeah. So
if you need anything else from me, I'm here. But otherwise, I think you've got everything.
I think it's all in hand.
Yeah. And I found my stockage of stickers from the first campaign, so I may send you those so you can kind of drop those in. And I will be one of the things I will be doing, Watcher, is I'm going to draft a letter that'll basically be a personal apology for this whole thing, and it will be a little bit of an explanation as to what's been going on. So I'll get that to you, and that way you can print them out and put one in every box. So
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my big personal thing that I wanted to kind of put out there. By the way, if you haven't backed Land and Sea and you want to, like I said, I only feel comfortable in soliciting it because I know I'm good for it. And the book is almost ready to be printed, so you will be served soon. That campaign is still open over on Indiegogo, Land and Sea Paradise. All right. That's all I got on the personal front there. All right. What do you got? What are you sharing there, Watcher? This looks like Marine stuff. Not U.S. Marines.
Well, unfortunately. Apparently we have breaking news via Visegrad. China just launched a major naval formation training at sea just across the strait from Taiwan.
That's great cover for a blockade.
Sure is.
That doesn't look like a naval operation. That's like an amphibious operation.
I'd have to agree with you, or at least one done in conjunction with a naval operation.
So what are we looking at there, Joe?
You're looking at light armored vehicles, amphibious assault vehicles being pushed across, looks like a small channel from one island to the other, demonstrating how how they establish a beachhead. Man, those don't look like they should swim, but they do.
No.
And,
I would not be excited about being in one of those.
I was never excited about being in an AAV, but sometimes it has to be done. But and then they're coming up, establishing the secure beachhead. It looks like they're going back out to sea, but it's pretty cool. We did these prior to the invasion of Panama. We called it a sand flea exercise, where we put a bunch of LAVs into the Panama Canal at the big lake there by the Gatun locks, and drove them across the lake and up the embankment on the other side. The Panamanians really complained because of erosion and environmental damage, but it made the point that we could we could literally go anywhere we wanted to, whenever we wanted to. So, and I think that's what they're doing.
Oh yeah, so it is.
We can cross open water if we choose to. So
it is. Looks like it is. It's in conjunction with a scheduled drill in the Taiwan Navy, as it is scheduled a counter drill on the same day. Looks like.
Oh, the odds of an accident are really slim when both sides are running live fire drills near each other.
Yeah, that's always the safest way to do live fire drills, I find.
Marlene, they don't really run on diesel. They run on jet fuel, just like ours do. And they get about 6 gallons to the mile. So
it's bad. It's real bad.
They do have to be refueled often. And Chaucerian fraud, a show of force is a training thing. Training things are shows of force, especially when done in full view of the person you're trying to impress. So the answer is yes to both. It's a training thing, but it's also a show of force. There's a member chat from Patrick there.
Patrick 7, member for 22 months. Did you guys see it officially came out that we have our own hidden shipping container? Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
that was at the JSOC.
If we did not, and second, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Well, the other side of that is it's one of those technologies where the second somebody else deployed it, it would have taken us all of however long it takes you to run a search saying, Grok, what U.S. produced missiles fit inside of a standard shipping container? Click, and then literally it's just building a shell.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, a lot of, Joe, we've seen a lot of amphibious action or developments, I guess you could say, with China in the last couple of years. I mean, it's almost like they have like some sort of amphibious operation on their mind, like something they want to do.
If only there was a area where they might do that.
Yeah, or some sort of a offshore, or a beach that. Anyway, yeah.
Well.
That happened a little dramatic. America's new ship killer missiles. They're not new. They're modified TLAMs, but okay.
Okay, no, Joe, that's not true. These are not the modified TLAMs. These are a different one. If I can remember, it's a Norwegian missile, but it's a previously existing missile.
It's just modified for attacking ships.
Let's see.
Well, if you want to know why I think it's a pretty safe bet that there's going to be some kind of action near Taiwan in the very near future, it's because the Marine Corps thinks there's going to be some kind of action near Taiwan in the very near future, and they are rapidly augmenting the force in order to hopefully be ready for that fight.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess
been under like an 8-year project for this.
Yeah.
They went away from large scale combined armed operations to operating at company and battalion size only. It's why we also got rid of the tanks and why they've limited their military police functions now, because if everything is a rear area, you don't need rear area security. Everything is rear area security, right? They shifted their training to focusing on fighting an island hopping campaign or a guerrilla campaign in the rear. First of all, it should dishearten you all that we're planning on losing territory and having to fight in the rear. But at least they were thinking about it and have been doing something about it with the world's worst air platform ever.
Oh, God.
So that's the Naval Strike Missile. Let me read a little bit about it here. It's a multi-mission cruise missile that has the ability to neutralize any highly secure maritime and land targets. It is a versatile missile and lethal weapon, delivering high-powered, heavy naval power. This is what a great writer this guy is. I mean, fucking AI can write better than
It
this.
sounds like Scott wrote that as a brush beater ad.
Hey, now, no, I am apoplectic at your. Let's see. It's got a range of 100 nautical miles. Yeah, it's not. It's like a lot smaller than a TLAM, but and a lot.
100 miles is not very much. But if you're on a small island and you're guarding a strait, it's pretty good.
Well, the interesting thing is they've got these robot. I mean, I will say this is kind of novel, but I don't know. I don't know what you get by just not having any kind of a driver on it. I don't know what the advantage is there.
Well,
okay, I mean, I get the idea of having but I don't know.
Reduce the number of troops necessary to operate the system.
But
basically it.
I guess that way, when they get ambushed, you lose less people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope it works.
I hope Waymo didn't write the software. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Here's the difference, though. We're always looking for the most high-tech solution possible. China doesn't. So all that these kind of things do is encourage some rogue nation to flip the switch and launch some sort of an EMP causing attack, like an airburst nuke, that would render these trucks absolutely useless. So,
yeah, I mean, unless there's EMP shielding, and I don't think that there is, not on anything that has antennas that connecting its brain to the airwaves. Hey, Joe, I have a question. I don't think fiber optic cable won't act as a conductor for EMP because it's basically a glass fiber, right?
correct.
It shouldn't.
So,
But then all I have to do is drive over it and problem solved.
No. You put you've got a rubberized cable, glass, fiber optic cable. I was just thinking about local, comms that you could do, wired comms without, without being a conductor.
Well, so the light source that you'd be shining into the fiber optic cables would be susceptible, as would the computer on the other end interpreting those signals.
Well, but if you had the computer in a like a Faraday cage, but it was connected, like if you run a cable inside a Faraday cage, you essentially obviate the need for having a Faraday cage because you basically are running an antenna into the, through the shielding. But if you were to do that,
it would work. And I'm sure that's how we plan on doing a lot of things, but you really can't do that with these trucks.
Yeah. Oh, no. I know. I'm sorry. My mind just went off and
wandered afield. Yeah.
So, but
it never happens, Joe. What are you talking about?
It's like all these guys who keep saying the fiber optic cable drones through the trees is going to be fine. You've obviously never been to Montana. They're not getting through the trees with fiber optic drone. It's not happening.
I mean, they might get through the first 5 or 6, but you're getting wrapped up somewhere, and it's not far.
Well, speaking of fiber optic drones, actually, that's actually a pretty good segue for our next little thing here. Look at you.
You got a link for me?
You had it open earlier. It's. I think it's in the.
Right.
It's in the
that one.
Show prep.
That's the one you meant. Yeah.
You know what? We know why we were put here. We were brought here to rebuild the military, match capabilities to the threats of today, So while our adversaries have produced millions of cheap drones, before us, we were mired in bureaucratic red tape. Not anymore. In June, President Trump issued an executive order unleashing American drone dominance to bolster our drone industry and arm our warfighters, because that's what we're all about. So today, I'm rescinding restrictive policies that stifle production, and this will unleash American manufacturing and the ingenuity of our warfighters by doing three key things. First, we're going to bolster the U.S. drone manufacturing base by producing thousands of American-made products, prioritizing Buy American. We'll arm combat units with a variety of low-cost American-crafted drones, leveraging our world-leading engineers and AI experts. And third, we're going to train as we expect to fight. Senior officers, well, I'll grab this. This is the memo. Senior officers must overcome bureaucratic risk aversion in budgeting, weaponeering, and training. So here's the memo we're signing today, delivered via drones here on the front lawn of the Pentagon.
Well, I really wish they wouldn't have used this copyrighted music in a.
It's no big deal.
With some of our great warfighters flying them. This is the future. We're in the fight.
That is a fiber optic drone.
I'm never going to back down.
It looks like it's got multiple. It looks like it has multiple input, kind of, which is interesting. Because if the idea, I guess, is that the fiber optic cable gets snapped, then you still got an option to control it with a signal. So. And I don't think any of the Russian fiber optic drones has like multiple inputs. So that's, 2 is 1, 1 is none.
Rev has been asked who put a bayonet on it. My friend, we have. It's called the Lance drone.
Yeah, the Lance.
There's a Marine somewhere in the development chain there. Yeah, but wouldn't it be even cooler if it just blew up into several blades?
Good stuff.
So, what else is going on in the world, gents? What else do we have to chat about? I mean, there's been a lot of. We've been focusing on so much on the domestic scene lately. We used to just do domestic Fridays because we wanted to kind of, incorporate a little bit of the kind of political conflict that's going on in the U.S. I mean, that started what, Joe? Like, was it 2 years ago when we really kind of started kind of dipping our toe into any kind of domestic political violence? And, sometimes we got just into the political versus political violence, but ultimately that was about domestic conflict that we were really trying to get to with that.
Yeah, I think it was as soon as the Trump campaign started to kick up. So
yeah. Well, the sad thing is that when the Trump maybe it was just COVID, right? Like we had the Summer of Love. We weren't really doing the Council on Future Conflict during the Summer of Love, but there was plenty of domestic conflict, in those 2 years leading up to Trump winning the presidency.
There was, but I think too that we have to understand that domestic conflict and international conflict overlap. There's a significant Chinese influence element and Iranian influence element in our domestic conflict. The pro-Palestine protests you're seeing all across America are Iranian influenced and Chinese influenced. It's there. The immigration protests are almost entirely Chinese influenced. So I think that by talking about domestic conflict, we're also talking about international conflict. China has learned that they don't have to invade America or strike America directly. There's a much better way of doing it. As Mao said, swim like a fish among the population. So.
Yeah, well, that's the best way to win a war is to never have to fight one. It's and we're doing a great job of destroying ourselves from the inside out. Watcher, what I mean, let me ask you. You've had a bit of experience with some of these next generation systems and whatnot. You were a drone guy way before, and drones really came to light during that kind of the end of the first year of the Ukraine conflict.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we've seen drones now, like, the DoD is finally, drinking the Kool-Aid on this. We'll see if they come up with effective TTPs and effective systems. What do you kind of think? What do you think it's going like when the domestic front? I mean, drones are clearly going to be a big part of any kind of domestic conflict. No,
this is part of a broader thing. Yeah, absolutely. We should remind me that I want to tie like the way that we wrap what I'm about to say up in, because we're going to go in a different direction and then come back. Remind me if I don't come back to it that's about domestic conflict and drones, because that's going to be a big deal. But one of the things I want to mention about the DoD and drones is that don't just pay attention to the drone side of this. I think where this story actually leads, and let me pull it up here, is those 4 CEOs that just got dubbed in as colonels by the Trump administration.
Well, they weren't CEOs, all were they? They were
they're like VPs and stuff. Yeah,
they were tech guys, tech executives. Let's call them.
Well, yes, but if you look into it, what it really is that they are executives to interface with their various companies and to essentially integrate as much as possible into the military. And if you look at their specialities, what you're really looking at mostly, some of them, there's a couple, there's 2 that may have some speciality in the drone space, and that's heartening, and it's good that they're there, and you can tell that's why they're there. The other 2 are almost exclusively there for AI, and I think that it's also good. These are 2 areas that our military has weirdly not been taking seriously. I remember way back when we were operating like shadows, and when to get a predator on scene was not like you didn't just have them floating around, right? Like that was right. You need to actually request one. What we were largely operating were lawnmowers with cameras. And even back then, I don't know about you guys, but I could tell that was a huge effing deal. Like the shadows could take off on a very, very short runway. They could be ready almost any time, day or night. They could be flown out of somewhere where there were intelligence analysts literally monitoring the feed at the same time, so that like that whole gap between when information was actionable went down to like, I think, what did we have, like I think at one point there we had like a 15-minute kill chain that came all the way from the US. Just unbelievable stuff. But for some reason the higher ups never seem to really take that integration into the lower units very seriously. They always really seem to treat it more as a battalion level asset, and never ever made sense to me, because it was very clear that these were always going to be the cheapest thing, and that as the rotor, specifically the rotor technology that actually powers them in flight, progressed, these were going to become cheap enough that like literally anybody could have it. Like literally just your dumb private could go buy one over a weekend. And at that point, why aren't we integrating them? Like the integration should have come to the military first, if that makes sense. Like it's so disheartening that the civilians had them on the basis where like literally just a dipshit earning minimum wage can save up a couple weeks worth of wages and buy one. And yet still it's a battalion level asset.
What I think one of the things that really America was, just for reasons, right? Not because we couldn't do it. There are other reasons why. We just were absolutely
it's because how do you make money off of drones? It's because big defense contractors, you control where the money goes, and our military said, "Ooh, I don't want to build that. What am I going to make? $5 a drone? Ew."
Well, it ultimately the consumer products that came out only were being made in China, right? And there were some American drones early on, but the margins were so cheap when they came out of China. It's kind of like solar panels, right? Like home solar panels from 10 years ago. Like all of them came from China because they were so far under the market cost, right? Like an American equivalent drone to an early DJI was like 5 times as expensive. Yeah.
It's pretty nutty.
And there's just the consumer market couldn't sustain that. I think some of the early agricultural drones were made in the U.S., but that's a business cost, not a personal cost. And the irony is I think that the DJI drones kind of hit the sweet spot right when this war started. Like in the early 2020s.
Well, no,
I mean,
no.
they'd been around since the 2015 or so. It's like, I think
like 2014 era is when you had your first Phantom come out, I think, and it got very popular back then. And even back then, it was very, very affordable.
That was the time frame in which the Army or DoD basically came out with a policy that said you couldn't fly drones around on posts, because we in public affairs we were buying those back then, and right after we get them in, they put a moratorium on on flying drones, and B on any kind of non-American drone, right?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, okay, well, great, we got this drone, we can't even fucking use it.
So you can't fly these on your base?
Nope.
Well, I mean,
But the integration's good. Here's my worry. The same problem exists. A lot of these defense contractors, they're shockingly businesses exist to try and make money. It's this weird thing, and unless there is that pressure from the top saying, "Hey, the military can only use American-made drones," there is no incentive for the American drone industry to advance, if that makes sense. Like the only reason that you're buying a drone made in America is to say, "Hey, I bought one made in America," right? Like for the most part. For the military, it's a little different because then at least you can say, "Hey, foreign assets didn't have a hand in making our literal military technology, and we at least have a way of continuing to make them should we go to war with this country." Theoretically, though, right? Because the larger chips there are all dependent on stuff coming out of Taiwan, but.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not anymore. Some of those lower grade chips could probably do this. Some of the stuff we make over here could probably do it. Actually, now.
So now there are actually, I think that what are these called Class 1 drones? The really small drones.
Yeah, it was so.
There are a lot of them being made in the U.S. now, and the pieces are modular enough to where you can source almost everything from the software to the chipsets and all that kind of stuff from domestic manufacturers. Still more expensive than what you would get out of China, sure, but ultimately it's economical at this point to be able to make thousands of them.
Well, kind of. So I'll put it to you this way, and this is a pretty common thing that I found. If you are like me and you are excited by electronics and you want to put together your own drone, you will find that if you're buying the kit parts, you're only saving maybe $10 off of a fully assembled, ready to go drone coming out of China.
Yeah.
If you're buying those kit parts out of America, you're going to pay like time and a half for the parts what you're going to pay for the assembled drone from China.
Yeah.
So
anyway, it's just really good to see that the U.S. military is getting in the act in a very active way. If you noticed, you had people from all 4 services behind him. I think that was very deliberate, and all of the drones were pretty much different types of drones. So you're seeing a variety of capabilities there. We mentioned the idea that that one of those is potentially a fiber optic. So they're taking that piece of kind of that innovation that Russia and Ukraine have been using. Seriously, that's something I had never seen before until that video. So
probably an angry comment inbound from a Coast Guard person. Now that you said for services.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. What part of the Department of Defense is the Coast Guard in?
None, actually.
Oh, that's right. It's like what, the Department of Transportation. So feel free to move me from point A to point B.
You know, I was happy to see on our fire truck as we're putting the flags on that we have a U.S. Merchant Marine flag. So
well, you know, that's a good point. The Merchant Marine and the Coast Guards, man, those two guys do a lot of heavy fucking lifting, and it's we in the kind of DoD world, we kind of run them down a little bit, but man, there's no place that we go in the world the Coasties aren't kind of hanging around. I mean, even if it's just the customs and shit like that they do, clearing people in theater. Every time we had Coasties there in Iraq, in Afghanistan, clearing, all of our shit that was coming back. So, I mean, we kid, but
security mission, yeah.
We kid, but listen, I would, if I didn't respect them, I wouldn't joke about them.
Right.
Look, this doesn't have anything to do with anything we're talking about, but if this isn't the most American thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is. Scott.
I love it. I love
Fox
it.
3 for Dale, baby.
Put it back up. I was just like blowing up my screen so I could see it. Do it for Dale. That is classic. That is classic. Oh, man. All right. All right. Let's see.
Well, did you want to talk about that the UK police officer? Because I do have that video.
Let's bring her up. So we've kind of talked about the most dangerous police officers are the female ones. But in reality, what that is us. What we don't want to see is exactly what happened in the UK to this poor gal. Now, is she a potential fascist who is willing to take the rights away from her citizens? Yes, she probably is. But I don't know that for a fact. I do know that she's a female, and if you don't have a little bit of sympathy for any female who is beaten senselessly by a much larger man, then where's your heart, right? So let's play this video. This is some video that's come out, and this happened over a year ago, right?
Yeah, I think this was 2 years ago.
Is it 2 years ago? Okay. So they broke her nose. It was two Muslim men. I think this is at like an airport or a train station or something like that.
Airport.
Yeah, I don't know what happened as far as what they were stopping them for or whatever. It was just an interaction with the police, and it went violent. Yeah.
So yeah, it was two.
And by the way, she's unarmed. She did not have a firearm. So
notice what was her main concern there, though?
Her nose.
That her face was messed up now.
Yeah.
Dude, let's prioritize here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I honestly think she was in shock. If because she's probably never been punched in the face in her life before. Joe. That's the problem. People try to get into a fight who have never actually been punched in the face before.
Well,
your first fight shouldn't be the one where that happens.
Agreed. But what our listeners and viewers may not fully grasp is that this incident got spun into that the police were harassing two Muslim men, and this got turned into riots and protests for, I think, weeks after this incident against the police, as though the police were the ones who had.
Yeah. Yeah, as if the police. Yeah, right. That's exactly right. Now, in fairness, I saw some other video where some of the male police that showed up after the fact, once these guys were down on the ground, were a little on the rough side with them. But
oh no!
I mean, you assault a police officer. What do you expect them to
paid for? I mean,
yeah.
I have zero sympathy for that. I remember way back in the day when a man of that culture struck one of my female investigators in the face, and after I got him in handcuffs, he was already not having a bad day. Then the Dearborn police showed up, and then he had a really bad day.
Yeah.
So I can't fault the cops on that one.
Yeah,
I mean, let's.
Well,
like I said,
let's be honest. Let's be real honest about something here that nobody really talks about. It is incidents like this and the potential for incidents like this which create the classic Sam Hyde female cop sentiment in female cops themselves, right? Like this, it is a vicious cycle, eh?
Well,
Well, Josh Clark points it out. To quote Chris Rock, if they have to chase you down, they're bringing an ass whooping with them.
they're bringing an ass whooping. That's exactly right. All right. Yeah. So this is, I don't know about you guys, but I have found myself retweeting the same tweet over and over again to various different things that I find on X. And that is, Britain has fallen, or Britain is going down, or, various, variations of that theme, where it's almost on a daily basis. I see stuff coming out of Britain just showing how it's over. It's like they're not even fighting. They're essentially ceding the ground to this, this colonizing force that has done everything they can to subjugate the and take advantage of these leftists who are in charge of this country. Well, I mean, it's not my country, so ultimately, what do I care? But look at you, Mike Snowden, reposting the stream over on X. Look at you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
With another clever rhyme, I might add.
I know. Yeah, London is a lot. Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Shall we go over the Pardo?
Probably London Has Fallen was a documentary.
Yeah, there is isn't there a documentary coming out about that? Anyway.
I don't know.
All right. I've got this one open. I was actually going to suggest this, so I'm glad you pulled this up. So Blaine puts out a little weekly update. You should absolutely give Blaine a follow, and check out his content. He's got amazing books, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many, too many to list. Though Tenure 2 is his most recent, and it's a doozy, people. I'm about the first third through it. I'm listening to the audiobook, so it matters because it's going to come here. Yeah, you're 100% right, little cubby. I mean, it's like one of those kind of things where you watch what happens to England because we will bring it to ourselves. The only thing that we have a chance is to actually fight back if they use force against us. That's the only thing we have that they don't have. All right. So this is his weekly update. CNN and MetaGuard Chucky Schumer blamed Donald Trump for the horrific flood in Texas, claiming his cuts to NOAA caused the disaster. Most of America replied, now do Biden and the flood in North Carolina. Schumer and CNN have only flirted with the reality from a distance for some time. Now it's showing. I doubt they could ID reality in a lineup at this stage of the game. That's a great point. A lot of people have been who are criticizing Trump over this flood. Let's be honest. That happened a lot in the first 24 hours. The truth quickly came out that there are a lot of people to blame for this flood, but the fucking federal government is not one of them. From all things that I've seen, And as much as I'd love to blame the Biden administration for his oversights in the last 4 years contributing to this, I don't even think that that's fair either. The latest thing that I saw, Joe, come out is that the camp was clearly in a floodplain, and that there's an area even more in threat than a floodplain, like a flood run through area or something like that. And the parts of the camp are in that area. So there may be some culpability of the people who own the camp or placed the camp there. And then
it's an area with historic flood history. I mean,
well, and so that's not just the people who put it there, but that's also the county officials that would allow this to go in. I have no idea what their political affiliation is, but if you have any responsibility in the death of these children, you should be held responsible. I don't care who you are.
Well, the only thing I disagree with there, and it's because I have some leanings in this area, is that the government shouldn't be allowed to tell me what I can or cannot do on my property. But I also should be smart enough to not put a camp on this property. So,
well, right. And there's where do the parents' responsibility that allow their children to go to a camp like this? I mean, okay, so maybe they don't know a floodplain from a airplane, but there is definitely, I think, some negligence there for the usage, right? Anyway. Let's see. Moving on. CBS settled with Trump over their blatant attempt to manipulate the last election. With a few more settlements, the Trump presidential library will be 70 stories tall and plated with gold. If I were him, I would name each wing for every settlement the George Stephanopoulos exhibit of media impartiality. It's small, like the man it's named for, the 60 Minutes Hall of Fame, Hall of Lies and Deceptions. I like where Blaine's going with that one. The Trump presidential library. What is that going to look like? I mean, just saying it out loud is funny. Oh, boy. Moving on, the FBI announced that Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself.
McDonald's in it.
Have a McDonald's number. I mean, he did work there, Let's see. The Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself, and there never was a client list. The only two people pleased about this were Ghislaine Maxwell and Prince Andrew. It does beg the question, what was Pam Bondi reviewing about the case? If it didn't exist, and why did it take 6 months? Then again, this may prove to be a big distraction from whatever the story runners for this season are planning to drop on us next. Yeah, right. As if we're living in the simulation, and it just can't get any weirder than this. What did you guys think about? Did you guys see Dershowitz came out and said, "I've seen the list. I know who's on it. I can't say because but there is a list and there are people on the list."
So that's a problem that I need everyone to understand. I don't have a problem closing the investigation, blah, 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 blah. I have a problem with them lying to you and saying, "Oh, there never was."
There's no list.
That's a problem you need to pay attention to. And it's a symptom of a bigger problem. It's also proof that the deep state exists and that Donald Trump has no control over it. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Trump wants to do better, but he's not in charge. So
I accept that as a theory. I heard an alternate theory that I'd like to at least dabble into.
Hopium, but go ahead.
No. It's not even necessarily hopium. It's it would amount to the same thing but different, and it would mean that we at least have information. Basically, it was a person who essentially said, "Look, you can't force them to give you more data. All you can look is the data they've given you and see what they might have accidentally given up." And one of the things that they said was, "Hey, just look at the situation. If I am vehemently for releasing the data, and then when I get told about what the actual data is, decide that it is worthwhile to me to not release it, what does that tell us?" And
that's different than lying and saying it doesn't exist.
No, agreed. But their what do you call it? Analysis of the situation came down to that it was likely either the Saudis or Mossad that ended up killing him ultimately. and that it was likely a combination of the three agencies between CIA, Mossad, and whatever the Saudis use.
I don't
that
care
were running.
who did it. We need to know who's on it, because those people are a threat to you. And I said yesterday, your government's protecting pedophiles, and some guy argued with me about it. But that's what this boils down to. Our government is okay with letting pedophiles walk because it would be too damaging. That's not cool with me.
Yeah, one of the explanations I heard was from a lawyer on the X website is and it was a pretty mundane explanation, which it means there might be some truth to it, is that there's a big list. It's got a lot of names on it, and almost most of them had nothing to do with the actual exploitation of children. And so if they were just to release the list without any kind of context, then that would give a lot of people black eyes that, like, so, and they used, for example, like, for instance, Trump is on the list, like the manifest, right, for the airplane. In point of fact, he never flew to, the island. He flew, I guess, between Florida and New York City. But that would be an example of somebody who's on the list that, unless you had the context, it wouldn't, it would look bad. So I don't know. I mean, I don't understand like the legal ramifications of all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of with Joe in that there is literally there is a group of people who are pedophiles who knowingly took part in all of this. We are being held from that. If there is not a orchestrated kind of like target list that he had, then say that, right? Say, yes, we have suspects, but we don't have an actual like Epstein approved list. I mean, but the problem is, Joe, is it sounds like they're trying to completely wash their hands of any kind of blackmail material, any kind of like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like some sort of like a sting operation. Like there was no sting operation. There was, that's the way they're making this sound. Who's somebody in the chat said this? Let me find this. If you believe, this one right here. If you believe Laura Loomer, she says Dan and Cash are pissed at Pam. Well, I mean,
I don't believe Laura Loomer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, quick rule of thumb here. Don't believe Laura Loomer.
Well, here, so this is easy to disprove, right? If they were really pissed, they would just resign. If she was literally withholding the names of pedophiles in order to protect, they would resign. They would say, no, I can't do this. I'm not going to.
Somebody pointed out another thing too, and that is that a lot of this evidence was when this happened initially, when he was charged in New York for the first time. The way that New York did it, they allowed a lot of time to pass before they searched the properties. A suspicious amount of time to pass after they announced that the investigation was happening before they did anything at all to secure the properties or search them. And they never listed some of his more well-known properties, like the New Mexico ranch. So the theory is there was a list. And again, I'm not saying I believe any of this. I'm literally just tossing out all the potentialities here.
Yeah, I
there
honestly
was a list, but the FBI never got it because it was cleaned up by whatever other interests exists before it got there.
Yeah, one of the things, this case is a perfect example of why I'm a terrible conspiracy theorist. Like, once you have like four competing explanations, all of which are mutually exclusive of the others, it's kind of like, how the fuck can you know what the hell's going on? Because the one thing that I resent about anybody who considers themselves like a conspiracy theorist is they latch onto one thing, and that becomes like they're like the one thing that that's the hill they're gonna die on, despite the fact that there may be either conflicting or information that sends you a different degree that's going 90 degrees off azimuth of that theory, right?
I'm with you on this.
I am so confused by all the stuff that I'm getting from this. I have no fucking. There's no way you can know.
Well, that's why. Listen, man. In my opinion, this is just me, right? But I think that like I engage with conspiracies both as a ruminant to sometimes realent, and in a this is just fun kind of way. And I've always said that if you're going to engage with conspiracy theories of any flavor, you have to do them with the Art Bell mentality in mind.
Yeah.
I think that in response to all the conspiracy theories floating around, sunshine is the best disinfectant.
Amen.
Just put it out there. Let's just do it. And somebody said that, well, Trump was worried that it will ruin people. Yeah, I think if you're engaged in that kind of activity, you literally should be ruined. Best way to ruin them is put them in a wood chipper, feet first, slowly. But what do I know?
What's crazy to me before we move on is the emotionality with which Dershowitz presented that was interesting and of note to me. Did anybody else?
Here's the thing I think about Dershowitz, right? And I kind of developed this idea a while back, and this I think his protestations kind of support this idea. And once again, it's a theory because I have no evidence. Is that Dershowitz knew about what was happening, but maybe wasn't directly involved in what was happening. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, and maybe he also realizes that it was happening right in front of me, and I just didn't realize what was happening. So he feels really guilty at this point, but may or may not have actually taken part in the events.
Begging for the list to be released as an act of clearing his name and redemption, then, because if it's not released,
people can ask you, well, wouldn't they have just destroyed it all by now? Oh no, that stuff is far too valuable for forcing political concessions and things you want to be destroyed. No, we need to hold on to this because someday I might need a senator to change his vote. And when I show him his picture getting off of a boat somewhere, he's going to change his vote.
Well, the irony, if this was blackmail material for someone, whoever it may have been in the past, it is now blackmail material for Donald Trump and the Trump administration. And so if it exists, they have the ability to now use it as a lever to essentially.
Hold on, though. We can't even let them use the if it exists thing, because Pam already said it's right here on my desk. So.
I know. I guess my point is that until I see something with my own eyes, I don't know that it exists. You know what I mean? Now, Joe,
I've got it on my desk and we're reviewing it. It never existed.
Yeah, Joe, if you saw something and told me it exists, I would take that to the bank. But Pam Bondi, who the fuck is she?
Hold on. This is too good. My brain just spun this one up, gents. Picture this: Pam Bondi.
Imagine a world. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it wants everyone to love her, right? Knows that she's kind of the odd one out in this situation. Really wants everyone to love her. Is told the Epstein files are on your desk. Goes to a briefing, delivers the line we're all talking about. Goes back to her desk, opens the file, and it's basically a photocopy of somebody's middle finger.
It's a Rickroll. It's literally a Rickroll. Well, Alex Jones absolutely thinks that Trump now has this and is going to be using it. And so, okay, I mean, whatever. Alex Jones has been right in the past, but he's also been wrong in the past. So who the fuck knows, right? Unless it's somebody that I know and I personally could trust and vouch for, I don't trust any of these motherfuckers. I don't trust them. I may like what they say. Like, for instance, Cash was a great example. I didn't know him, but I liked a lot of the things that he was saying. But then he shows up at the fucking FBI. It does nothing to earn my trust since then. And moving the fucking FBI is not going to earn my trust. Right? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, all right, let's continue on with Blaine's update because I think he's got good stuff on here. Trump leveled tariffs at Japan and South Korea after promising the world he was going to do it for months. Needless to say, it caught everyone in the Democratic Party off guard, along with their lovable media sidekicks. They dusted off the trade wars talking points, saying Trump was going to wreck the economy while the stock market continues to rise and inflation falls. It's widely believed that Jim Cramer may be their economic advisor, given that he's chronically wrong about everything. Yeah, well, I mean, you know. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The South Korea and Japan getting tariffed, and if they don't fucking make a deal, they're going to get tariffed. I mean, that's just reality. Yeah. And I guess they've started to see the income coming in from the tariffs now, and they're like, you know, like, oh yeah, they're liking the tariffs, so they're not inclined to get rid of the tariffs anytime soon.
Reminder. The government was entirely run on tariffs for a very large portion of our history.
Yeah, basically until with the 1920s.
Yep.
All right, let's see. In an 8-1 ruling, the Supreme Court ruled that Trump could plan for mass federal employee firings. The lone dissenter was, drum roll, please, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Yeah, because she's a fucking, well, anyway. Poster child for DEI hiring practices. She has proven to be the perfect comedy relief for the season for this season of the show. It was the equivalent of being the only kid in class to fail a pop quiz and having the teacher point it out to the entire school over the loudspeakers. Good news is that she's still inspiring many to believe that they are qualified to be Supreme Court justices. If she can do it, there are qualified. My toddler grandson could do it. He's at least cute. That's fair. Watcher.
So I saw an interview that she apparently did yesterday where she literally said that she uses her Supreme Court opinions to express her feelings.
Yeah, does that surprise you? I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less.
No. What surprises me is that she's dense enough to just say that out loud. That's kind of the.
Well, that's the left has always been great about saying the quiet part out loud. You know that.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Biden's doctor pleaded the fifth when asked about his mental decline. Ironically, the number 5 is the maximum that Joe can currently count to. Pleaded the fifth, the number 5. Get it? All right. The week ended with a violent mass mob attacking ICE in San Francisco. Apparently, they left no issues with the mob wearing masks, but is deeply offended when the federal agents do. Of course, militants of America didn't hear about it because the legacy media, or millions in America didn't hear about it because the legacy media, in an effort to prove their impartiality, didn't report it. Hating the mob is easy. Hating the media for their bias is far easier. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. You would think that at least some of the mainstream media would just say, guys, we got to do something. So let's just go. I'm going to pitch something radical. Tell the truth all the time, no matter how ugly it is. And if it's a big story, we should actually post it. And if it's not a big story, then we shouldn't post it, right? I mean, I think that eventually one of these media outlets would do it. But unfortunately, when you're a committed Marxist, you're committed not to making money, but to the narrative that they want to construct in the world.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
As
soon as you turn over to consensus truth, that becomes your entire everything.
So that is Blaine's update for this week. Thank you, Blaine, for sharing that. I hope you guys will all give Blaine a follow over on X. He is a good follow. And he's also a great writer. And he's been, Joe, did you see he's teasing stuff about the new Blue Dawn book?
Yes.
I have not. I didn't see that.
Well, I mean, I'm just waiting for the return of the purebloods.
Captain Dolio. I've been so busy pointing out all the similarities between the Blue Dawn book series and real life to actually see any of his teasers about the new book. But, very cool.
Facts. Oh, facts.
Let's see. Got a little bit of time left. Let me propose something to you guys. Oh, what is this you're sharing there, Watcher?
Oh, this is that video from earlier. I just.
Oh, okay. Have you guys watched any good movies lately?
No, I haven't watched
TV,
any movies in a long time.
Any entertainment at all that you've taken in?
Yes. Now that I think about it, I'm wrong. My wife forced me to sit down and watch a movie. It is not a modern one. We don't watch modern movies. I think it's from like 1960 something. It's called Father Goose, and it's actually really goddamn good. If you've never seen it, it's a comedy about a guy who
Father Goose.
Father Goose. Yeah. It's a World War II comedy, Pacific theater comedy about a guy who the British Navy, he's an American citizen who is just kind of living his life in the Pacific, trying to just be a drifter around the islands. And the British Navy maroons him on an island to force him to be a coast watcher for them. Gives him a radio and hides alcohol all around the island and won't tell him where the alcohol is until he reports X number of Japanese planes. It is hilarious. It is really good.
I
on YouTube.
We went and saw The Accountant too, which is pretty legit.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what did you think about the whole brother dynamic? Okay, so first of all, let's assume that they've seen the first movie, and so you know how that ends, right? I thought that set up the brother dynamic pretty well.
It did, and I like the redemption arc of the bad guy brother turning his life around to come in for a good cause. So
I feel like they set that one up though for potentially doing another sequel or.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, and the one thing that bothered me about it was, okay, so it was like 10 years since the last movie, right? And they had this whole kind of get together, here, give me a call type of thing. And then they go 10 years without doing it. So I found that to be a bit of a stretch, but hey, whatever, you could have handled that a couple different ways, but
yeah.
But that's a nitpick. That's not, So, Watcher, is there anything out there that you want to see? I mean, like if we were to do a movie night, is there something that you would?
I always turn to the old stuff these days, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. There are some new projects that are coming out, but most of what I am like honestly, legitimately excited about as far as modern media is all independent creators putting out stuff online. You wouldn't care about most of the stuff I want to see though, but like there's a guy who kind of invented this really cool animation style where it's basically it's a rotoscopic effect that uses live video, so you can dub stuff over people in a very crazy, interesting way. Who just turned down a multi-million-dollar contract with Netflix in order to do his own project. That's announced that he's about to dump his own movie. That's pretty exciting. It's going to be pretty cool. There's some online horror stuff that's been doing some cool stuff lately. If you guys ever want to get into that, or like I said, old movies are great.
Well, like I used to be really plugged into movies and like the current stuff, right? But the more and more woke it got, it's almost impossible to like take in the stuff. And I think it was Top Gun Maverick is when we first saw like regular movies fighting back against that kind of woke trend. And yeah, did it have women fighter pilots in it? Yeah, but they were written like characters, right? They weren't written like some sort of girl boss type thing. And so Top Gun Maverick for me was old school, movies, kind of like 80s style fun, type movies, right? And so we just recently went and saw Formula One, and it had the old Brad Pitt teamed up with this black younger driver. And I kind of saw some like, from the distance before I saw the movie, the trailer and things like that, I was like, I could sniff a little wokeness there. But when I saw the movie, because spoiler alert, my daughter is a huge Formula One fan. And so we were absolutely in that movie theater opening weekend. And I took both my daughters to see it. They both liked it. One's a Formula One fan, the other one isn't. And I didn't feel like there was any wokeness at all. He was just a black guy, right? And he was a black British actor, and he could have just as easily been a white guy. Now there was like this one kind of like stupid thing where he does a nod to Lewis Hamilton, who is the only black driver ever in Formula One, and he's a 7-time world champion, so he's a legitimately good driver despite his race. And unfortunately, Lewis Hamilton is a BLM supporter and all that kind of stuff. So
I'm sorry, but to me, the only thing more boring than watching cars drive around in a circle is watching a movie about cars driving around in a circle.
Hey, man,
Well,
to each their own, Joe. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're. I have to ask, Scott. Were you as into racing before your daughters decided they got into racing?
So I was into racing as a kid. My grandfather watched a lot of NASCAR, so I watched NASCAR, when I went over to his place. But I was never like always watching racing. Like when I was a elementary school kid, I loved drag racing.
The Tennessee stereotype, right?
I was just gonna say
100%. I loved like NHRA type of drag racing stuff that I'd catch it on TV. And then of course, like living in Waverly, Tennessee, the only kind of actual racing that or motorsports that I got to see live was tractor pulling. And so talk about Tennessee stereotypes.
well.
So that being said, I've always liked racing, but I've never been a massive fan of it. And I don't know where my daughter picked it up from the Drive to Survive, but she very quickly graduated from the soap opera level, like Drive to Survive thing, into actually like statistics and the cars and like what
the rest of us have no idea what Drive to Survive is. So I'm just saying.
No,
it's on Netflix. It has absolutely brought a huge number of NASCARs racing 100%.
Younger people. Okay, cool.
But it's
NASCAR propaganda. Okay.
Yeah. I like racing, but I like
it's Formula One propaganda. But yeah.
Specifically, I like American dirt track racing. I like it.
Yeah, me
cars
too.
It's bumper cars. I like dirt in my mouth. I like loud engines and guys that are racing on their own dime for the love and the passion of the thing. That really gets me going. But
Ford versus Ferrari was a great movie. Matt Damon, not a fan, but the movie was good.
People are bringing up some stuff. And I just want to say it could be an interesting point of contention. Like Joe mentions that he doesn't watch movies, and that's pretty much where I've been at lately. The movies that we do watch are older stuff and that kind of thing. But I will say I don't know what it's going to take to get me to decide that I want to tune into modern media. But like legitimately, recently, people have asked me to watch shows that have come out recently, that kind of stuff, and I can't force myself to do it, even for like as a favor to people that I like. It's not. I don't know what it is, but I've seen there is so much of an aversion reaction now that I don't know what it's gonna take to get over that. And it could be just like, hey, I think the people that were responsible for this shouldn't just be allowed to turn around and pander to me again. I think they should go away.
Yeah. So
was an extra in that movie, by the way, F1.
Oh, what he was. That's cool. What you were just saying though, Watcher, like that's exactly how I feel about like Star Wars, specifically Star Wars, right? Because Star Wars was my fucking touchstone as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And even when Star Wars wasn't great, even when Star Wars wasn't great, like the prequels and all that kind of stuff, I still loved it. I still loved it because it had a heart to it, right? But Disney Star Wars Rogue One was okay, but looking back on it now, I can see a lot of problems with it. The first movie, what was it? The J.J. Abrams movie, I kind of wanted to like it, and there was a lot of fan service in there but on kind of second viewing, I was just like, what the fuck is this, And then the second movie came out, and I was just like, holy shit, this is a fucking train wreck. And it just kept going downhill. And I'd just like to say, if Mexican Iron Man, if you are still in the chat, the last time I consumed any Star Wars was when you conned me into watching the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. And
poor bastard.
It was terrible. It was terrible. And the other thing, like, so the last actual kind of effort I put into watching Star Wars was I tried to watch Boba Fett, like, no, not Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, right? And there was some decent stuff in the first season of the Mandalorian, but I watched the second season of Mandalorian. I was actually watching it and kind of doing some reaction to with Chris, Zevius, and like the second season is where Ma Ning, or what's her name, the Chinese actress. Yeah, she shows up and basically turns into the badass, and he looks like a fucking idiot during the whole thing. And it's like, what the fuck am I watching here?
Emasculation.
So I literally, and even when people tell me, oh, well, this is good Star Wars, like Andor, a lot of people came back and told me, hey, you should check out Andor because it doesn't have as much of the. I say it's made by the same fucking people.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
it doesn't matter. It could be great Star Wars. You know what would get me to watch it is if Disney sold Star Wars and somebody who is just a finger up in the air, a punk rock kind of guy were to buy Star Wars and start making, fuck you Star Wars.
I'll be honest. I would watch bad Star Wars that somebody else was putting out that actually cared about it. Right? Like if it was campy and shit and like Doctor Who level, I wouldn't care. I'd actually be very excited about that.
As long as it had the fucking heart.
Yep. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. No. We're closing in on 2 hours anyways.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up then. We'll do it as normal. No, Andor is freaking great. Yeah, it's still made by fucking Disney. All right, Joe. Look into the weekend. We had the spiciness with the ice raids, the guy shooting at the ice raids as he shot past his friends. What do you think we're going to see next? I mean,
I think we're going to continue to see these escalating things back and forth. As I pointed out on Tommy's podcast, I think what's going to end up happening is one side or the other, whether it's ICE or the left, is going to accidentally hit some innocent bystander. And that's going to bring all kinds of other people into the fight, deciding to take retribution for this poor innocent bystander. And it's going to spiral more and more. I just think we're going to see a lot of things, maybe not squad size actions like you saw in Texas, but things like the one guy who walked up and opened fire at the border at the Bortac station. Of all places to attack, Bortac was probably a really bad idea, especially single-handedly. But I would really watch it out there.
Yeah. I never had the privilege to shoot with Bortac, but I have heard stories in the shooting community about the Bortac team. Serious gun culture in that agency.
Watcher, what do you think? What do you think we're going to see next?
I think you should expect to see the type of weirdo solo attacks. We had, like, we were talking about the other incident in Texas, but there was another one that was a solo attack. Like him and like Vance Bronson, I would look for those to start evolving. And probably soon. They have a lot of pressure in their community to start doing dumb stuff rapidly. And so, I mean, as we were saying earlier, I would expect drones to start to be used in those in really stupid ways coming soon. The Antifa's already proven that they have at least multiple bomb manufacturers in their network. So it is not a far logical leap.
Did I lose Watcher there? Or
No. I that's just the end of that. It's not a far logical leap to assume that that's what they're going to do next. I think that's coming in weeks, honestly. I could be wrong there, but they've got the pressure cooker turned all the way up to 20. So
yeah. I think I'm in agreement with what Joe said. I think we're going to start to see direct fire incidents occur a lot more often. especially if you don't see some really big things, some really big, like ton-sized boulders falling and smashing and destroying the people. If the government doesn't come down on them like a fucking ton of bricks, then that will incentivize other people to do the same thing. I'm not looking forward to having to review their janky ass California compliant 3D printed shit shooters.
Oh, I can't wait to see I can't wait to see that on the Brandon Herrera's. What's the
cursed
gun images? It's coming.
God, I hope so. All right, guys, I appreciate you doing this with me. It's something different. We'll see if we do it again. I don't know. I mean, I thought there's some magic in the last 2 hours, but there's also some mud. So I hope you guys enjoyed something a little different. We always like talking and hanging out, and some of the best times for my day, some of the best times I have is the time I have with Joe and Watcher in the 30 minutes or so prior to the show starting. And so I always look forward to that. And like I said to you guys in the chat, I also look forward to interacting with you. So even when I'm not feeling it right with the show, because the end of my day is the show, right? So like I've got a long day and then I'm tired and then I'll do the show. So between the interaction with my two besties here and interacting with you guys in the chat and just kind of talking about what's going on in the world with you, that's what kind of gets me going. So I appreciate you guys. We will be back on Monday with probably a totally standard show on Monday. So if you like the normal format, never fear, it will be back. Joe, thank you. Watcher, thank you. Chat, you guys are awesome as always. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the channel, either on Rumble or on YouTube. If you've subscribed, like the video, it's free. Hitting the like button is absolutely free. So the resistance to hitting the like button, I don't quite understand. But that's cool. Hey, whatever. Be a contrarian. Okay, don't hit the like button. That'll probably get 10 people to like it. And we will see you on Monday. As always, stay safe.